Alright guys, first of all I just want to say sorry I haven't uploaded well, it was October the 18th and it's what now, it's been over 2 months now, and I just want to say sorry for that. It's got to do like school really. I did have loads of like mock exams like a few weeks ago and I really wanted to do good in them because, you know, I'm only 15, so I'm in my last year of, I think it's compulsory education. I don't know if I've got to stay on or not. But yeah, enough of that. This episode, I know I started my path to Pelé a couple of months ago, and that got really good. I think it's got like 4,500 views now, and that was pretty good. But because EA haven't released any Pelés, because I know it's in Messi's contract that he has to be the highest rated player in the game because he's a 94, and if they bought Pelé out, he'd be a 95. So I think they're going to release him after Team of the Year when he's out. So that'll be a bit better. Well, that's when he's allowed to be out, I think, so they'll put him in packs then. But here it's just me the first bit transferring over 15k to my Path to Pelé account because I only had 300 coins on it because I started a new account for it and I just sold a couple of the things, but that put me onto 15,078 coins, so I went out and bought quite a few players. The first one I bought three Javi Martinez. I bought one in a CDM for 1,200, and I think I was just leaving that on there. But I bought a cam. This was the one player I think I mainly tried with this episode. It's Javi Martinez in a cam. You can pick him up. There's only ever maximum about 7-8 cards on the market, and he goes for around 3.5 and 4k. So if you can pick him up for around 3, you sort of control the market because no one else is really looking for him, trying to play him in a cam. It's just people looking, like other traders, trying to make coins in him. So if you put it up for about 1,000 more than you get it for, you're going to make a decent profit. Well, here we have this Holden with a Catalyst in CDM, bought him for 3,600, listed him up for 5k, and that was pretty good. Then we have a King, who wasn't the best. I got bid up a bit more. I bought him for 800 and selling for 1,000. It's a decent profit, but I didn't really want to go that high anyway. And here we have bought loads of CM to cam cards, and they were all, I think it was I don't know what the card it is. I think it's CDM to CM or something like that. But they're 1,200. Then you put one of each on, and that brings the total up to 2,700. And then I list them up. I think it's 38 or 3,600. And that's a pretty good profit for like 2 minutes looking for them. It's about 900 coins. I think it's after tax, and that's pretty good. Saying you've just like, it's a simple method because I think there's over 1,000 Javi Martinez's on the market one time. No, it's probably more than that. It's probably over 1,000 of every card. But they all go for just over a k. And pick ones with formation cards on. Try and look for defensive ones. And it's Gladiator, Sentinel, Anchor, and midfielder ones, which are Maestro, Artist, Architect, and I think there's another one, but I can't remember what it is. But if you look for them with that on, you can sell them for a pretty good price. But the 4 Javi Martinez is sold, and there's this one player here, a Holden, who's sold for 3,800, but I did buy him for 29, but I forgot to record that because I've got the app for it on my iPad, and so I picked them up like late at night when they're a lot cheaper. We have a centre forward, Javi Martinez. That was a good buy because that was the only centre forward I've seen for about 3 days. So he was 1,300, and saying like getting to CDM to a centre forward is going to cost you about 2k anyway with all the cards. So that was pretty good. Here, that's the maximum I've ever seen of the cam. I think there was 9 on, and the cheapest was 3,800, I think. Well, here by a centre forward, the cam card. I think it was 600, or it might have been 550. Yeah, no, 600. But we put that on the Javi Martinez, and saying he only cost us 1,300. It's a maximum of 1,900 coins we spent on him, and we're going to list him up. I think 36. I don't think we sell him for 36. I think he sells for 33 in the end, but that's still a good profit nonetheless. And here's another one we bought. Well, a different card. It's an Oscar. I do forget what a lot of the players cost, so I have to keep going back and checking how much they are, because I should really write them down or something. But here it's a centre mid Oscar with the engine. I think it was, and the engine itself is about I think it's like a k, or might be a bit more. But the cheapest one with an engine, it was 7,600. So I list mine up for a bit less. Oh no, what I listed for? I listed for 7,700 because that one only had like an hour left, and so it probably would have run out. And here's another one with an engine for 6,500 this time. These two they only sell for, I think it's 7,300. So it's only about a 300 coin profit. Well, 700 off both of them. Here you have a Cornelius. Who does he play for? Cardiff. The Danish. I think he's from Denmark. The Danish Cardiff striker, but in a centre forward, and a centre forward to striker card, it's about a K and a half. And this one in centre forward only cost me 1,300. So overall, I list him up for 2,200 because I know there's going to be none on the market. And people, if you're a striker, you can probably play Cam. No, if you're a striker, probably play centre forward like Wayne Rooney. He's preferred at a centre forward because that's his original card. But they're the only 4 cards up, and that's a Vyman. I think I do pick him up, but I don't show it, but I'll show him sold. There's the Vyman. I picked him up for 45 and he sold for 5,700, so that was a good K profit after tax. And then the Cornelius sold for 22, which is pretty good. And here we have another Vyman. Him and Have Martin's the main players in this. Bought him for 1,800, sold him for 35. And then we've got another Vyman centre forward, 1,500, and selling for 2,300. And then we come back later, and I think the first Vyman sales, this was straight after actually. I already had those in my watch list and picked them up, because I couldn't see if they had a decent price or not. Bought that Vyman for 1,600, listing for 3k, and bought a Maiga with the Hawk. I think that's 1,700, but people don't really look for a Hawk on a cam, it's normally for a striker. Bought him for 2,300, listing for 4k, and that'd be a good 1,200 coins profit after tax when he sells. And here we came back the next day and we get those free gifts, like I think it's the week before Christmas. Christmas is in a couple of days when I'm recording this commentary. But the Maiga I bought that one for 5k, well 3,500, and sold for 5k. And here all these 6 players didn't sell, which is quite a shame because they're the cheapest on the market. But I do list them all back up for a bit less, and they all do sell eventually, which is pretty good. And yeah, these are the last 3 players of the episode now. We have I should say his name, Martin Uccio in the striker. I picked him up on a bid for 600, list him up for 2,100 coins. Pick up an Ilsinho centre mid, the Shakhtar Donetsk one for 2,400, listed for 4k. And then this was a pretty weird one. It's the only one I've ever found. It's Aluko, I don't even know who he plays for. Who's at Hull City. He's a really good player on Ultimate Team. I haven't used him, but his stats look incredible for a player that's under 10k. This one had the Hunter card on, and he was converted from a striker to a cam. Listed him up for 11k, and he's bought for 9,100. But here we come back, and all 3 have sold. Martinho went for 21, the Ilsinho for 4k, and we had to drop the Aluko by a k 100 for 9,900, but we still make 600 coins on him. But if you have enjoyed this episode, guys, we started off 15k, so we made 19k profit, 19,200 coins profit, and for this was a 6 hours overall, like on it. Well, it wasn't even 6 hours, but about 3. But if you have enjoyed it, guys, and I just want to say sorry for my absence again. There'll be another episode out tomorrow, but please like, subscribe, and cheers.